Guys, today's podcast is in partnership with Stone & Co Solicitors, experts in serious and complex criminal matters. If you have a criminal matter that you need help with or you've been arrested and want the best representation, contact the number below or drop them an email. All the information is on the screen below, as you can see. Stone & Co can offer specialist criminal defense services on a private basis or legal aid, so you don't pay nothing. And as a promotional offer, they're offering a case review in person or over the phone, free of charge, no obligation, no fees, and they'll take a look at your case, guys. Welcome to the Kickinupdust Media YouTube channel, guys. I've got a special guest today. Mashallah, the brother brought me a thobe. Yeah. Inshallah, I'm wearing it on Eid. Let the brother introduce himself and his thobe company.
Inshallah. So my name's Adam, 26 years old. I run a company which I'm known for mostly, which is AK Thobes. It's a company I started in 2021 now, August. Moroccan thobe company. Kind of just tapped into a market that wasn't too available at the time. There was a special niche for this certain product, and I kind of just saw an opportunity and grabbed it, man. And since then, man, just been hustling. Coming up to 3 years in August. Alhamdulillah, man. It's what I'm most well known for, I'd say. But
Mashallah. May Allah preserve it and, increase it, inshallah.
Ameen, bro. Ameen.
Obviously, the first time I saw you, it was on TikTok.
Yeah.
You were talking to the youth about, going on the right path or whatever.
Yeah.
We like to start from the beginning because I don't really know about your beginning either.
Yeah.
I've seen the clips.
Yeah.
So I want to start right from the start, where your parents are from originally, where you grew up in the UK, and from there.
Yeah. All right, cool. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. So firstly, I just want to thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, man. I just want to thank you for having me on the platform, and I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, my parents are from Pakistan originally. My father is half Afghani as well, so I'm 3/4 Pakistani, 1/4 Afghan, but it sounds a bit mad to say 1/4 Afghan. But alhamdulillah, born over here. So although I come from a Pakistani family, all my family are born and bred in the UK, apart from my grandparents.
Oh, your mum and dad are both born in the UK?
My mum and my dad not, but my mum, yes. But obviously my dad's not really in the picture. We'll get into it in a little while. But yeah, so I've kind of grown up in a British Pakistani family, I'd say. I was born in Whipps Cross Hospital, East London. At the time, we was living in a place called Newbury Park, which is near Ilford. So that's where mainly I grew up until the age of, I'd say, about 11, 12. That's when I moved up to Northwest London. So whenever I recognize with which area I'm kind of from, it's like that age from like 11 to 26 where I am now, it's a fundamental age. And I'd say Northwest is kind of where majority of my growth happened. But yeah, born in East London, primary school over there. And yeah, man, that's pretty much in terms of where I grew up.
When you say Northwest, you mean like Harlesden?
Yeah, Church Road, to be specific. Yeah, okay. Not a nice place, man. No, it's not a nice place.
Everyone knows about Church Road from Nines,
Yeah, literally, man.
He made it famous,
Yeah, man, 100%.
Mashallah. But you've got a strong Muslim community there now.
Yeah.
A lot of Somali brothers.
Predominantly
like
Somali. Yeah. So I'd say even growing up, I don't have Asian friends. You know what I'm saying?
I go Harlesden a lot. There's one particular spot I like to go there, eat one spot there. Yeah. One of my favourite places in Harlesden.
Nah, don't get it twisted. Harlesden Church Road, it's got a negative stigma to it because of the kind of environment it is and what it is, but it's a beautiful area, man. In terms of the community, is strong over there, bro. Like we have a strong masjid over there, and yeah, man, it's everyone's got each other, bro.
Big up the masjid. What's the masjid?
It's called Afghan Mosque. It's on the main strip on Church Road. That's where so much of my development happened in that masjid. And it's mad because growing up, I wasn't someone that would ever go to the mosque. So when I started going to the mosque that's on my main strip, this whole time I'm thinking, subhanAllah, I've been missing out on this, even the recitation. People travel like hour and a half in Ramadan just to come listen to the reciters. They're 2 Afghan brothers. But yeah, big them up every single time, man. 100%.
So obviously, I know you spent a bit of time outside on the road or whatever.
Yeah.
Just give up. Like, how is your primary school into going towards that secondary school, and also obviously being from your background, how was it growing up around Church Road for you as an Asian and stuff?
100%. So growing up in primary school, at the time I was a good kid in primary school, man. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was a bad man from primary school and all of that. I was a good kid in primary school, always observant, always, I was in a gifted and talented set for my English specifically. But at the same time, I always had heart, would you say? So on the playground, if I see bullying going on or someone tries to bad me up, I wouldn't have it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'd be very vocal about that. So during my primary school is when my parents started going through a lot of problems in their marriage. And this was something that was very prominent throughout my childhood. And I'd say maybe I have probably a lot of childhood trauma from that as well. Just, hearing mum and dad arguing and knowing that they're not really on good terms. Yeah. And that'll kind of rub off on me as well, where I would come home from school and, I'm not really spending time with my dad. He's in and out the house. I barely see him type thing. So I started becoming a bit rebellious towards the end of primary school. And that's when I started getting into a little bit of trouble. Not on the road specifically, but I just started becoming a bit rebellious. By then, I was going to school by myself, coming back by myself, and I had a lot of freedom. That wasn't, to say that my mother specifically didn't do a good job with me, but she herself was battling a lot of mental health at the time. And towards the end of year 6, she actually was sectioned, and I wasn't with my mother for quite a bit of time. So naturally, I had a lot of freedom. Do you know what I'm saying? Where man's outside 12, 13 years old and your parents are ringing you down saying, come home. No one's checking for me if I'm outside, bro. So
who was looking after you while your mom
So
was
I went to my grandparents' house after that. And my grandfather was, I guess, the only kind of person that played that sort of role, but he was born from there. So he came with that mindset. He didn't kind of understand the kind of things that our generation does.
Disconnected from
outside. Yeah. So I had, and not to mention my grandmother, you know how the grandparents' house are, everyone's in and out the house. It's 5 kids. I got 2 uncles, 3 aunties. So everyone's always in and out the house. So I kind of just would fade out a little bit sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
You're kind of unsupervised a lot.
Yeah, bro. So, naturally speaking, when you're outside at that age, at times you shouldn't be outside. You're going to be getting up to things that you shouldn't be getting up to. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't long before, I started getting involved in, petty little things. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that I was knees deep in or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Just back in the day, robbing man's phone or doing something rubbish like that.
What age is like 11, 12, 13?
About 11, 12, 13, yeah. So going into secondary school now, that's kind of what I'm starting to get involved in. And again, my grandparents are living in Northwest London and I've just gone into secondary school in East London. So man's putting on my uniform, leaving the house, and I'm not going to school, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going outside. Or for the weekend, I'm saying I'm going my friend's house. I'm not going to my friend's house, bro. I'm going on a train somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff that I started getting involved in. And as I grew older, I started progressing. And certain things that we'll get into, inshallah, started becoming quite serious for me. And I kind of just felt like I'm the type of person, so I've become the man of the house. Sorry, I forgot to mention as well. My parents ended up getting divorced when I was just going into year 7 and my dad left. Ever since then, I haven't had a relationship with my father. But you can imagine there's a lot of pressure on me now because I'm now the man of the house and I barely know what a man is, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And my man's coming to me and I'm basically now the protector, the provider of my household. And I'm at the age of 12, 13, bro. I'm still figuring out. No, I'm the older brother. So I'm the eldest. I got 2 younger brothers. One is my half brother because my mum's remarried now. But growing up, me, my brother, my mum, that was our household.
But you the oldest though?
Oldest son, oldest grandchild, oldest everything. So I got no oldest to turn to. I am the older. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was difficult within itself, bro, because I don't really have anyone to talk to. I don't have where the youngers are acting up and the olders are badding them up, telling them, look, for me now, for my little cousins, they're in year 7, year 8. Sometimes I have to go bad them up because they're just getting involved with things they shouldn't. I didn't have that, bro. I'm the person that's supposed to be badding people up in terms of the youngers. So it was that kind of freedom that I had. And when my parents had got divorced and my mum was then sectioned, it affected me a lot, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I was very angry. I was like, why am I being put in this position? My father's not helping out. So it's like where you feel like at that age, a normal child should be provided for. His education should be the forefront of, you know, his focus and everything. I can't focus on that, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I need...
It's because obviously the drama inside the house is affecting you now.
Exactly, my
And
bro.
you're probably rebelling without
Yeah.
even realize you're kind of rebelling in a type of way.
Yeah,
You know?
and because my mum's going through so much, it's kind of neglected upon me, where it's like I have to now fend for myself, all the way down to like my clothes, bro. Like what I'm wearing to school. Like I'm going to school in pimp-soles and I'm seeing everyone with crepes. I want crepes, you know what I'm saying? So I'll go Clark's. You know how it goes, innit? Literally go Clark's, pattern up a little something, and then, you know what I'm saying? That's the mindset that I kind of grow up with. I'm hustling to get, you know, a 2-piece chicken and chips at the end of the day. No one ain't giving me no lunch money, you know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of effect that it had on me, and what led to me start, you know, I'd say jumping on the roads and everything that kind of comes with that, which goes hand in hand. So it turned into like petty little crimes, like, you know, robbing phones or doing whatever, staying out late. And then you start getting involved in the other things, you start selling certain things and whatnot. And I guess that mindset carried on with me until teenagehood. But yeah, roughly that's kind of my upbringing from youth, how it was. Now onto secondary school now. My education, to be honest, as a whole has been really broken up, because I've always been a smart kid. I've never been, you know, dumb, let's say, but because of what's going on outside of school, I can't focus in school. I can't focus. So I'm coming to year 7, I'm in and out. I'm not really coming to school too much. And I'm always that year 7 that's chilling with the year 11s, because, bro, we might see each other in school, but after school, I might be serving you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the kind of
weed and stuff.
Yeah, just little bits, nothing crazy.
Yeah, of course.
So that's the kind of thing that I had. I ended up getting kicked out of school due to my attendance in year 7. So at the end of year 7, I'm not in school. I wasn't in school for the complete of year 8 as well. Coming into year 9, after year 7, I'm in Northwest now full time. Now I'm in Northwest. I'm kind of just getting familiar with a new area now, because I wouldn't say I made any key friendships that I held on to where I'm in Northwest and now I'm going east to check for man and whatnot. Now I kind of just left all of that and said, cool, let me just set up shop over here and see what I can do over here type thing. And then my mum's health started getting a lot better. We found a little place in Willesden Green exactly. And she actually saw the effect that it was having on me. Like the time period of her not kind of being around and what's kind of happened the past few years, she's starting to really see that in me now, where now man's 14, 15, 16, or and you know what, I'm smoking now, I'm consuming drugs now, I'm coming home late, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. My mum's telling me, why are you coming home? I'm like, just mind out of my business. I feel like I'm a big man. I'm a little kid, bro. Yeah. If I could go back now and see my man, I'll slap him in his face and humble him. But back then, I thought, you know what? No one can tell me nothing. I'm a man, bro. I provide for myself and for my brother. I'm doing my job, so don't ask me no questions type thing. So that's the kind of rebelling that was going on at that age. And yeah, man. That's pretty much what it was growing up.
We're talking like 13 now, roughly.
I mean, I'm not good with
14,
age, yeah, around that age now. So it's, yeah.
And obviously, being around that area is quite obviously, you know, it's rough. If you're on the street, it's rough.
Yeah.
Did you like get into any issues while you at that young age? Or?
Yeah, so 100%. So when I've come into year 9 now, my mum has basically tried to tell me, look, you need to start changing. You need to start taking your education serious, this, that. I'm thinking as a provider, but my mum, may Allah bless her, she's thinking, this is my son, you know, and I want him to go through education. So she tried to actually send me to an Islamic school in Northwest London. And I got into the Islamic school, but very quickly, bro, I felt uncomfortable because I'm coming to school with men that come from like good functioning families, some are middle class families, and I'm just this guy that's kind of out of place a little bit. So I didn't really want to gel towards that school, if that makes sense. I'd rather come outside and butt my brethren from the roads. Do you know what I'm saying? We got to a point where like I'm going to school, and because my brethren are not in school either, they're just waiting for me outside school. Like, yo, come we go do what we do type thing. And that's when you start doing pettiness, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to hold back on a lot of things, so forgive me if you see me going silent, but you start getting involved in problems with people because it goes hand in hand.
Of
You
course,
can't be
yeah.
outside selling drugs and doing things.
Hand in
You're
hand,
gonna find conflict in certain places, and your friends are gonna look at you like, are you with it or you're not with it? And me at the time, if you asked me then, I was with it, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So we started getting involved with some beefs, and it wasn't of any serious nature at the time. It was more like, can we rob this you? Or my man tried a thing last time. I see him there, and I've hopped out on him, and I've done something, or he's done something, and it's not.
That's where it starts.
That's where it starts from. Do you know what I'm saying? You get a phone call like, "Yo, my man's giving me verbal," and then you kind of step out, and you don't think that it's gonna lead to what it leads to in the end. And I was very naive to think like that. But I'd say, year 9 is where I started having beef with I started not liking people, and people started not liking me. Let's just say that. And I'd say it got really serious for me when I was 17. A very close friend of mine was stabbed in the neck and killed. And when that happened, bro, I was spun. I was completely spun, because where we would carry weapons, and if it was necessary to use it, we would. Bro, I wasn't trying to kill no one. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think no one was trying to kill me.
Were you more time carrying it because you think everyone else is carrying it?
Just in case. Just in case. You never know what can happen, type thing. And 100% people around me are carrying it. So if we get into a situation and I'm with them, I don't want to be the guy that's just there with nothing and man are backing out things on me. Do you know what I'm saying? But when my friend passed away, I'd say that had a very, very negative effect on me.
He was a close friend.
He was a close friend of mine. Yeah, we grew up together, type thing. And he
were
was
you
even.
there,
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there exactly, but I seen him. I seen him on the floor, type thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Got the call basically.
Yeah. I was in the area already when this happened, and yeah, bro. Like I remember seeing his body laying there.
Was he unconscious?
Yeah, he was gone. By then, he was stabbed in the neck, bro. He was probably alive for about 5 minutes. They tried open resuscitation on him. Died on the spot before he got to the hospital or anything. So when that happened, you would think that you would start thinking that, yo, what I'm involved in is can get very serious over here, and I can lose my life over here. You know what I'm saying? But I just became angry, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's when things really got serious for me, where it's like, I would be thinking to myself, bro, I'm going round there, and I'm not going round there for no punch up or nothing like that. I'm going round there to cause some serious harm to someone. You know what I'm saying? It was the wrong mindset now, of course. Now that I'm older and I look back on it, it's silly because, you know, the way I was grieving is not going to be beneficial to him in any way.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas now my brothers, even him now, when I think of him, I make dua. I do things that are going to benefit him in his grave. But back then,
Muslim.
Muslim brother, yeah. So back then, where you would think that you're grieving, but what you're doing is not beneficial to them at all, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? You go to the graveyard, man, are just 10, 15 minutes later, smoking up, listening to music. It never was comfortable for me. Even though I was not practicing, I was not even praying at the time, that feeling was always uncomfortable for me, because the conscience that I have now, I've always had that then. I've always been a good guy deep down. I've never wanted to, do you know what I'm saying? Go out. I've never wanted to oppress people. If I see one of the mandem badding up someone that's not involved, I'm like, I won't be a yes man and sit there and say, what are you lot doing, bruv? Let him go, bruv. Let him go. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of always had that mercy as well towards Muslim brothers specifically, where if we can talk it out, I'm happy to talk it out. But if it's beyond talking and you do something for me, I'll defend myself in a way that's necessary. So I kind of always had that mindset. And then, yeah, man, that's pretty much the first thing that happened. And you'll notice in this podcast, death is a very reoccurring thing in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? I haven't been to jail in my life, alhamdulillah. I've had a lot of close stints, a lot of close calls. I've seen a police a fair share of times, but I haven't been to jail.
How old are you now?
So by now I'm 17.
And how old are you now today?
I'm 26.
And how long have you been off the road?
20, just by the end of 21, when I was 21, so about 4 or 5 years now.
So yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
mashallah, you learn quickly, but
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
going back to, a lot of people don't learn, bro.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the problem,
yeah,
innit?
yeah, 100%, bro.
So
I know man that are 35, 40 years
What?
old and they're still out here,
I
bro.
know man 50 are still out here. And we're
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like, and they're really out here.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like moving bricks, and I'm like,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
And I said to one brother once, I said, brother, what are you doing?
yeah,
You're 50.
yeah,
And he's like, you know, it's just how it is, you know.
yeah.
But anyway, going back, so obviously that's had a massive negative impact, your friend getting killed now
100%, yeah.
and whatever. How does your life, obviously, I assume it keeps going downhill from there.
Keeps going downhill from there, bro. I wouldn't say at the time, because you're young as well, and I was consuming a lot of drugs, etc. Nothing beyond weed or anything like that, but I guess as a youth, I wasn't able to grieve the way that I should have grieved about it, because this wasn't someone that like I was a high biting. This is someone, man, will come to my yard. We're
He's like
eating
your brother,
together.
innit?
You know what I'm saying? That's man's brother. So it hurt me a lot, but because I didn't have the chance to really grieve about it the right way, and I'm just focusing on other things to kind of take my pain away. I was drifting away very quickly. And one thing that I want to touch upon, not too much, because believe me, I'm not saying this in any proud way, shape or form. When I look back and talk about these things, it's only for it to benefit the viewers, inshallah. And it's not something I'm proud of at all. But I started getting involved heavily in music. Do you know what I'm saying? Music was something that was quite a passion of mine and something that I was indulging in a lot. And I'd kind of use the studio as an escape. So man will go like 20, 30 man up to the studio, book 5-6 hour sessions and kind of just vibe off over there. That was our kind of escape, you would say. Yes, where we would just go there and kind of just bake off around there. And it was a big fitna that was around me, most definitely. And people will always say to me, like, because people around me will always tell me, bro, you're really talented at this thing. Like, why don't you try push it? And man will put little things out on SoundCloud at the time. I remember the brother Cadet, may Allah have mercy on him, his grandmother used to live in Harlesden, so he used to cut through the ends a lot. One time I seen him on Snap, he was coming through Harlesden. I said, yo, pull up on me. So he must have come to me and we're just chilling outside. He must have been, you know, spitting me a little something and we kind of just had a little vibe. He put me on his Snapchat, a little freestyle, and it kind of went off. Everyone started adding me up saying, yo, when are you dropping? When is this happening? And from there, I guess I built a little kind of base where it's like, now I'm going studio, I'm recording in the studio. People are seeing previews. They're like, when's the next thing coming out type thing. And it was like a case of I'm making songs. But when it comes to the end of it, where people are like, all right, cool, this is a banger, come we shoot a video. I'm like, nah, not yet, you know, not yet. I'm making excuses. I'm like, bro, but
why?
At the time, I'm making excuses. Now I know that it was that conscience. Yeah, it was that fitrah of, bruv, like, this is not what man's born to do, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's haram. Why am I doing this? The kind of shame that it's going to bring on man's family as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Coming from an Asian background, Muslim Asian background, it's not something to be, you know, shined upon or anything like that. And my mother would make it very clear to me. And I want to make this very clear on camera for the youths that are out here living this kind of life. Bro, don't act like, you know, you're not getting it back in your house. You don't come from this kind of, you know, houses, man. We come from good families. We have nurturing mothers. We have nurturing families. Anything man chose to do is because of my own ignorance. At the time, yeah, I would have said, this is the cards I was given. This is the environment I'm in. Excuses, bro.
You know, just to touch on that point, what you said is very important. You see, I'm obviously older than you.
Yeah.
So when we were outside, you never took outside to your parents' house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what I mean?
100%.
They knew what man's on.
100%.
You understand? Obviously, they hear everything or whatever, but you never take it inside the house.
100%.
Touching on quickly what you said is very important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fit that I told you, the music thing, this is not right.
Yeah.
You know? And people always kind of like discuss this with me. A very important thing. Like, what's worse, a drug dealer or a gangster rapper? You know? I don't know the answer because I'm not a scholar. But I said, let's break it down. You know? And this is an important point. Let's touch on this. Yeah. I said, let's break it down 1 second. You got a drug dealer, haram, no doubt. But I know many drug dealers that hide their drug dealing. They would never say they're a drug dealer. They're never gonna they're never going to do a drug deal in front of everyone.
100%.
They're not going to openly sin, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the point here. So even though I know they're drug dealers, people might assume they're drug dealers because they're driving nice cars or whatever, but they're not openly doing that sin. They're hiding it. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just assuming because of what we think we know about drug dealing.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Major sin, haram, destroying a community, no doubt.
100%.
But as for open sinning and closed sinning, many of these drug dealers, obviously the younger generation changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Many of these people that I know, they're hiding their sin. That's the first thing,
100%.
yeah? Now, the rapper, the gangster rapper, he not just openly sins, he encourages other people
Yeah.
to drug deal in his songs.
100%.
He encourages other people to make zina,
Yeah.
to drink alcohol. Actually, when you say this is an alcohol bottle,
Yeah.
when you're on a video brandishing that,
Yeah.
what's it called? Shirok or something, right? When you're brandishing that,
Yeah.
actually, it's like you're rebelling. If you're Muslim, especially,
Yeah.
it's like you're rebelling against Allah. You're on video with a Shirok bottle in your hand.
Yeah.
What's that saying? Then you got, half naked women, who's there. It's kind of like you're challenging Allah. You understand? Like, you're open sinning basically what, and whatever. Because that video is going to go, anyone can watch it.
Yeah.
Old imams, young people, whatever. Do you understand? No drug. I've never met a drug dealer, like especially from, my generation, that's told the imam he's a drug dealer. He's told his grandmom he's a drug dealer.
That's something that's shown.
Exactly.
It's definitely.
But with the music thing, you're not just openly saying it, you're encouraging kids that are maybe innocent, like, some 16-year-old, he don't know nothing about drug dealing, but because you're repeating it over and over again in your songs, you're encouraging him. Maybe he's having financial problems, mum's struggling, you're putting that idea in his mind. Do you understand what I mean? And whatever. So like I said, I don't know who's worse, a drug dealer or a rapper. Islamically, I don't know who's there, but I'm just, in my mind, that's how I break it down. I look at that rap industry as partly satanic. There's a satanic element to it. You understand what I mean?
No doubt
even
about
though like I was consumed with it back in the day,
Yeah.
and even if I hear a track now, it affects me like
Yeah.
in that street type of way. I'm not saying I don't like the beat and whatever, whatnot. But just because you like something, don't make it right. You understand what I mean? And whatever. So
you got to remember as well, the music thing, it's not only what the viewers are affecting, it affects you as a person, bro. You have to remember, a lot of these men that are going, specifically street guys that are rapping, bro, they can't run out of things to rap about. So it's either half of the people, I'd say probably 70% of the people now, they're probably rapping about things they haven't done, and it's a facade. But for the people that are actually living that life, they're thinking to themselves, I got to go and do something, so I got things to rap about. I need substance in my lyrics. I need things to talk about. So they carry on living the lifestyle they're living so that they can carry on pursuing the music. So if you deep it, not only are they affecting the people that are consuming their music, but they're making it harder for themselves to leave the bad habits that they're doing. Because for me, I could never go back to doing all of that. Not just because it's haram, because this is the main reason, but I'm not living any of that, bro. What am I going to go to the studio and rap about? You know what I'm saying? That? So that's definitely one thing I'd say. And another thing I'd say is, bro, it's affecting a lot of people today, man.
100%.
A lot of people today.
So I'm in a situation, for example, I speak to rappers. I have friends who are rappers.
Yeah. I've
asked people have asked me, can you promote my album?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I can't promote your album. I can have a conversation with you as a human, like about your life or whatever. But I said, bro, I'm not gonna say, his album's out on the 7th of July. I can't do that, bro. You understand what I mean? Because it's haram. I said, music one side, what you're saying is the problem, you know? And people don't understand that here. There's one thing you're doing something, behind closed doors. There's another thing you're boasting about it and encouraging others to do it.
100%.
So you're saying, telling others smoke weed. There was that little period when people taking, what's that juice called?
The lean. Lean, yeah.
Do you know how many kids start taking lean to the rappers?
Yeah. Bro, I know personally someone who's literally half of his face has become paralyzed due to the consumption of lean. Do you know how old he is? He's 17, bro.
Well, lean is something that was exclusively promoted by rappers.
Yeah.
So for me, the brothers who are Muslims, in the rappers, they really need to think about what they're doing,
100%, man.
Imagine, I'm telling you one thing. If you look at some of the conditions of Tawbah, it was there, bro. Even if you leave the rap industry and
to
you
leave
have
anything tied to it as
and
well.
you have the ability to get them videos taken down, and you don't.
Yeah,
Bro, you need to go check the condition of Toba,
100%.
because your Toba might not be accepted.
100%.
Because if you have the ability to click the delete button, but you're not clicking it because you want still the revenue of the streams, that Toba might not mean nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
You understand what I mean? Because you still got it on there, you know. So that's a very, people understand the music. This music thing, actually, this is an infection, and it's affected every community now.
It really
you know?
is. Yeah.
And bro, we're Muslim. If you're Muslim, no matter if you're black, Asian, white, bro, music is not from our culture.
Yeah. 100%.
Especially gangster music.
Yeah.
You know, this is not. We're Muslim.
Yeah.
Muslim comes before any race. You know, just like what I mean.
Yeah.
Muslim is our culture number one.
Yeah.
You know, then we have our tribes and whatever.
Yeah,
No,
before
but
anything.
Muslim is number
Before
one.
anything, yeah. Quran and Sunnah, that's
whatever.
literally what we live by.
That was a very important point to touch on, I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the benefits of this podcast, I feel, as well, is because, you know, you being someone who's outside, you started on your deen now, you know, you're doing it a lot, you're doing obviously going to get to it, but you're doing a lot of work in the community and whatever.
Yeah.
This stuff is important because these are some of the biggest problems with the youth right now.
100%.
You know, we could go on talking about rappers rapping about stuff that they don't do, which we know.
Yeah.
Some do it, don't get me wrong, but some don't.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different subject for another day.
Yeah.
Going back now, okay, you're 17, 18 years old now.
Yeah.
You know, you're rapping. Cadet was obviously someone who's very well known. May Allah forgive us and forgive him.
I mean,
you know,
very good brother, man.
Very good brother. May Allah, you know,
he was known to do a lot of khair in the community. You know, don't get twisted, because he had this image out there.
Yeah.
Got involved in a lot of charity. You always see the brother in and out of the masjid. Very, very good brother, man.
May Allah, you know, increase him, you know, and forgive us and forgive him. So obviously he was a big name, no doubt, in that scene. So obviously, so you're still hustling outside though.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
We don't need to go into what it was and what it wasn't.
Yeah.
Did you graduate, as they say, into harder drugs, or was it still?
Yeah. I'd say when I'm reaching that age now, that's where I'm in and out of what they now call, you know, bandos and whatnot.
Yeah, so we don't need to say what drug it is.
Of course not.
People know what it is.
But you kind of start progressing to more serious things.
Drugs, yeah.
You're going out of town a little bit. You're kind of seeing what things are like outside of your community now. You're having problems with people outside the community. And I'd say, I can't remember exactly. I think I was 18 at the time. But I got into an altercation which ended up in me getting stabbed myself in my arm. So I was literally on a back road with a friend, someone that's not really part of any of this lifestyle, whatever, just chatting, whatnot. Car pulls up in front of me, winds the window down, must have turned to me and said, he said something like, "Why are you looking nervous for, man?" type thing. "Why are you looking nervous? What's good?" He's kind of waiting for me to do something. I'm like, who's nervous, bro? But I was nervous because I'm like, I'm with someone here. More so than me, I'm thinking, bruv, this guy's got nothing to do with any of this, man. I don't want him to get involved in a sticky situation. So I've kind of told them to walk away, and I walked with them and I said, look, if anybody comes out of that car, just run and just cut.
Did you know the people in the car?
Yeah, I knew that. I spotted the person straight away.
You had an issue with them, basically.
I had an issue with them, but what was so confusing for me was one of the person that was in the car was actually someone I was cool with. And he lived a few roads away from me. I never knew where his house exact was, but I had a little porch outside my yard, which I would always be sitting on, just on the phone or doing whatever type thing. And he'd always walk past and I'd be like, come, sit down. We'll have a quick 5-10 minute catch up. So I was very confused because I seen this car pull up, the window gone down. Automatically, I've noticed someone in the passenger seat that I got a problem with, and I've seen him. And I've kind of looked at him in kind of like a disappointment, like, bruv, was you plotting on me or something type thing? I don't know what the story was exactly, and just certain things I can't get into, but cars pulled up in front of me. I've kind of just walked off from the situation. I can see them following me slowly. I don't know why they didn't hop out on me then, but they didn't. I've kind of walked with the guy onto the main road, so onto the main Harlesden strip now, and I'm walking him to the bus stop. I said, look, just jump on the bus, man, whatever comes. Just cut from here, man. I think something's going to kick off. I hope it doesn't. But yeah, I've dropped him to the bus stop. I can't see these men anymore, so I'm thinking, cool, let me just quickly take a back road and go back home type thing. And then as soon as I've hit the back road, I've just heard the tire screech. As soon as I heard the tire screech, I turned around, I saw the door open, I didn't wait, I started running. Back then I wasn't the most athletic guy, I was a bit tubby at the time as well, so I probably running for about 3-4 minutes. I kind of just gave up. I turned around, I took something out, I had a weapon on me, and I kind of just swung it. Kind of got into it with these guys. I didn't know, I felt a punch on my arm, very hard punch, but I didn't know it was actually something else. And I guess you could say they weren't really trying to finish the job with me because they could have carried on, but I kind of just held a beating. I covered my face. I held a beating for maybe 1 minute and a half.
How many people were there?
4 people, 5 people in total, but one of them was a driver. He stayed in the car. 4 people hopped out on me. So I kind of just holding a beating. There's a white lady that's come out and she's screaming, whatnot. And then they've kind of just all run off back into the car and driven off. I've gotten up straight away. I'm like 4 or 5 minutes away from my house. So I'm going racing back to my house on an angry one, making phone calls like, yo, I just bumped into so-and-so type thing. And it's actually crazy, bro, because when I realized I got stabbed, I felt like hot blood and I didn't know what that was. It's the first time I'm feeling this kind of sensation, innit? And then I realized, yo, my jumper's getting a bit soaked here. I think that man got me type thing. And they've sliced me as well, as you can see on my arm over here.
That's a big scar.
So yeah. So I've gone to my house and I've put anesthetic on the wound and wrapped it with a J cloth and gone outside. And straight away I'm kind of on other things, do you know what I'm saying? But sooner or later I started getting a bit fainty, dizzy. So I've kind of just sat down and I've called a cab. Cab's taken me to the hospital, stitched up, whatever. This one I left quite open for some time. That's why it's still scarred up. They said, had you have come to us straight away, we would have stitched it up for you. But I left it open. So yeah, now I've been touched, bro. So it's like, bro, on the roads, it's either you're a victim or you victimize. And no one's making me a victim. That's the kind of mindset I had. Now I've been put in a situation, it's like almost a humbling. Like, brother, no matter how much you think you can keep up with your badness,
you have to do something.
You have to do something now. And I guess it kind of just put pressure on me because people are looking at me like, yo, that's an L, bro. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's, what it is. That's the code of the street. That's how you think.
Yeah.
Like, if you let this slide, something else is going to come.
Yeah.
So it puts a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of just led to a lot more back and forths now. Kind of just carry on living the way I'm living, innit?
Can I just quickly, before we go into that, how did your mum feel?
My mum wasn't home when I came back and wrapped up and whatnot. I've gone hospital, whatever, come back. She seen the wound on my arm and she straight away, of course, she said, what the hell was that? I must have told her I was on a pedal bike. I hit around a bend and I fell over onto some shattered glass on the floor and scraped myself. That's what's happened to me. She didn't buy that straight away. Let me see. She's looking at it like, are you okay? Is everything cool? And I'm moving bookie, bro. I can't really, how you said, like, we don't take our problems inside the house. But when that's happened to me, it's like, bruv, I can't even, I'm scratching my head walking around the house. I can't even stand still, bro. You know what I'm saying?
What did you say? You fell over?
I said I fell over. My mom's going to laugh when she watches it back as well.
With the glass?
Yeah, I said when I fell over on my pedal bike, as I've come onto a curb and there's shattered glass on the floor, I scraped myself on the floor.
That's a good one,
Yeah.
I can't lie, that's a good one.
I got creative with it because back then I'm always on my pedals going around. My mum's seeing me.
You want to hear something funny? A side point.
Go on.
Have you seen that video with the rapper from America, Nas, his brother? When they're outside the block in their estate, I think in Queensbridge. So he's telling a story about when he got shot.
Yeah.
So him and his friend was there and they were outside the estate.
Yeah.
Nas was in the block doing whatever he was doing, talking to someone. So he got shot with his friend. His friend died, but Nas's brother, I think his name's Mega, innit? Jungle, sorry. So Jungle survived. That's Nas's brother. So obviously Nas came running out. He heard the shots.
Yeah.
So when he's heard the shots, obviously the brethren's dead, but the brother Jungle is still alive. Guess what Jungle said to Nas? One of the first things he said. It's hilarious, the video.
What?
He goes to Nas, don't tell mama.
Yeah.
And then he's laughing about it. He goes like, he goes, I told him, don't tell mama. Like, she's not going to find out that I've been shot and I'm in the hospital.
Yeah.
When the dude just did this one right here in the shoulder up there, it grazed me, took a little meat off. And then one came through my leg from the back and came out right there. Nas came out this building right here. I said, yo, don't tell mommy. I swear to God. I told that nigga, don't tell mommy.
That was his first reaction,
Yeah.
And you know why that makes me laugh? Because no matter what happened outside and was there, I'm not telling my mum nothing.
Not telling her nothing.
That story I've told a couple of times when I got rushed by 50 people when I was a kid, and that's what kind of made me level up. they came from a neighborhood, innit? 50 man, 30 man. We don't know how many numbers it was. It was a big crowd. They came from a neighborhood, and that was kind of what made me just step up. I was like 16, 17, around that age. They walked right past my mum's house, innit? She knew something's happened, innit? So everyone came out the houses, innit? Something's going on. But they never saw the actual altercation.
Yeah.
And my mum said, "Who was that?" I said, "That was my friends. They just came to check me."
Yeah.
Just like what I mean? Because you don't do that. That's the code. Because they're civilians, innit? Don't take your problems home, man. And I rate that what you did, though.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Because you have to do that.
And
you got to keep a poker face.
I didn't want to, because mums, man. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna worry for nothing, innit?
Yeah, and although she was worrying, I didn't have to tell her what I was doing for her to be worried about me. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's one thing that I always felt, and maybe this goes back to me being the man of the house. I've always had that instinct of just protecting my family and making sure everyone's good. I don't need people to check for me. You know what I'm saying? By now, I've gone through the cycle. When I was 13, 14, I was angry then. I've accepted my cards, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And now when I talk to people about it, they're like, "Oh, you're growing up without your father." Bro, alhamdulillah, bro. I'm grateful that Allah's put me through this test because it's made me man up from young. So where now man's 26, I'm looking at certain man. Forget 26. When I was 18, I'm looking at 18-year-olds around me. I'm thinking, bro, we're not built the same, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
So going back now to when obviously you've got stabbed now.
Yeah.
It's going backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
My other question was obviously your parent side, mum side. Did you kind of learn anything yourself deep down, or kind of just made you get worse?
In terms of?
Like, like, oh damn, I could have died, stabbed, maybe this is not the life.
Do you know what it is, bro? It should have registered, but it didn't. I'll be honest. Where I was hit, it was a few centimeters even away from a main artery in my arm. So, the doctors told me, like, you're very lucky that you was able to operate, because I did everything myself, alhamdulillah. I didn't have an ambulance that came and I went in the back. So I kind of didn't see it as a madness to myself. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, as I'm getting older and I'm seeing men around me that are getting stabbed and dying.
Stabbed in the leg and dying.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And it didn't register to me properly until another one of my friends passed away. We wasn't too close this time, but this one hit me deep because I had just seen him a few days before. It was kind of someone from the area. He wasn't a Muslim as far as I was concerned until that specific week where he died. I went to Jummah, which is Friday prayer, and I seen him there in a thobe. I was kind of like confused. Up until then, it was kind of like, "Yo, what are you telling me, my bro?"
How long was it after you got stabbed?
This was it was Ramadan. Maybe about 10 months, 11 months, touching a year, yeah.
Okay,
so it's more recent, yeah. So I seen him, and I was like, "What are you saying, my bro? I didn't know you was Muslim," type thing. He's like, "Yeah, I took my shahada like 6 months ago. I'm trying to do my thing." You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I was like, "Yeah, mashallah." I gave him a couple pointers, you know what I'm saying? And I kept it moving. And remember, it's Ramadan. So I'm at a friend's house and we've gone somewhere. We're sitting in a yard, you know what I'm saying? Chilling. And all of a sudden, it's quite late as well. I say maybe suhoor time. So I'm doing suhoor at my friend's house, whatnot. And I'm hearing sirens going off in the area. Like, not just one, like just one after the other, like consecutively. And where we're from, you hear that amount of police, something's happened, you know what I'm saying? So automatically, I'm kind of like, "Yo, what's going on?" type thing. And I've looked at my phone and I've gone on Snapchat and I've seen like 3-4 people posting the strip, like, bare police, ambulance, whatnot. So straight away my instinct was to drive there, see what's happening, see if it's one of the man them, everything's cool. I've gone there and I've seen the same brother on the floor outside. It was a Paddy Power at the time. Intestines were out and he was gone.
The Rambo or something?
Yeah, it was a ZK. So the story which I later on found out was he was chilling on the strip. Obviously, certain man have pulled up, hopped out the car for a punch up to punch him up. But the brother was quite strong, mashallah. So the guys come to him and he's ended up punching him up. So you've hopped out on me and I've punched you up, for example. You're going to feel like, "Raw, that's a bit mad. I came to your strip and got punched up." So he's gone to his car and backed out a ZK and he kind of swung it like this once, but he sliced open his stomach and his intestines came out. It was very gruesome. As soon as I looked and I saw, I had to look away straight away. I saw his face.
Was he done? Was he?
Yeah, he was done. He was gone. Straight on the scene. Passed away. So again, that's where it really hit me deep, man. That one really hurt me, bro.
You're like 19 now.
Yeah,
right?
bro. About 19 years old. I'm thinking, subhanallah, man, this is crazy. What's going on? Where are we living? Like, what is going on here? And it really just started kicking in. And I'd say that's the first time in my life where I went home and I prayed that day. Maybe because it was Ramadan and because, you know, I had that kind of boost anyway. I went home and I prayed that day and I made a lot of dua for him and I made dua for myself, bro. And I kind of had a bit of a breakdown for the first time in my life, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I never shed a tear. Like, I know man say, yo, when you hit your pillow and you think, bro, I wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like so focused on this is my job, this is my role, this is what I have to do. That it's taken 19 years for me to actually realize, yo, bro, like life has really getting to me at this point. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's when I started trying, I'd say.
Praying and stuff.
I wasn't practicing. I still was doing the things I was doing, but at least praying. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's when I started building that connection with Allah where I'm thinking in the back of my mind now, cool, I'm doing what I'm doing, but I need to actually make steps to get out of this because I don't want to live my life like this. My mum is distressed. My family is distressed. I don't want to live my life like this. I want a good career for myself. I want to start a family for myself. I'm starting to think, yo, like, bro didn't get that. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro, that's kind of an instrumental thing that remember I said death has been a big theme of my life and losing people, you know, it doesn't even end there. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, from 19 to I'd say 21, I kind of carried that mindset of, cool, I'm trying to step a bit back, but I still keep getting pulled in. So I might pull up to a talk once in a while, one up, sit there, but I'm going to the mandem after. Do you know what I'm saying?
Still trying to make money, basically.
I'm still trying to make money. Not even just make money, bro. I might just be just trying to go chill with my guys, bro. I ain't got no good friends in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though a lot of them now have changed their life also and are my closest friends today. But at the time, if you ask me, I'd say I don't have any close companions that are practicing brothers. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where 19 to 21 was a big, like, I'd say transitional stage. I've gone back to college now. So I went to college in Ladbroke Grove, St. Charles College. If anyone knows, they know. It was a bit of a ghetto college, so I got kicked out in the first year. I've gone back the second year, but I've kind of coalesced my way back in. Like I'm pretending to be someone else. Like I'm a new person here. I finessed my way back in. Alhamdulillah. So now I'm back in college and I'm taking it a bit more serious. Where it's like, cool, I'm going to be on top of things, attendance on point, not get kicked out, and kind of just go with it from there, man. But yeah, that's kind of where it started. And there was another instrumental death in my life, which I'd say was where I had enough type thing. And I said enough. And it wasn't even like a death that was from the roads or anything. But it was another good friend of mine, companion on the roads as well. And when I was going college, the second year, he started coming outside the college because he had friends that were going there. He never used to come to the college, but you know there's that man that's always outside.
Yeah, of course.
So I seen him after a couple of years. I hadn't seen him for a couple of years because we wasn't from the same area. I was like, yo, what are you telling me, my bro? Chatting, chopping it up. Every other day he's coming outside. I'm seeing him outside. We're chilling. I've told this a lot in my lectures as well, so you'd probably see it a lot online a lot. But
I heard this one. No?
Yeah, so there was one specific day, and this was before Ramadan, about 4 years ago now. So this was probably what, 2020? 21, yeah. So we're chilling, we're chatting, and he's kind of like, bro, Ads, I'm trying to take this Ramadan serious, you know. Like, my mum's onto me. This is just bummy how man's living, how we're living. It's bummy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of like, yeah, same, you know. I couldn't say that I was being very serious, but I was kind of just hearing him out. He was kind of venting to me. So I was like, nah, same, you know. I can't lie. It's finished, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Look what's happening around us. Look, it's not going to get us anywhere good type thing. And Ramadan came. And from what's apparent from the people in the community and whatnot, he started making those changes. You see him in the mosque a lot. see him, like couple man will see him at Tarawih, Tahajjud, trying his best. And there was one day he was chilling with his friend and he got a phone call to say that his block was on fire. As we know, the fire of Grenfell, which happened. So Grenfell was on fire and he lived in Grenfell on the 13th floor with his family. So he done what naturally any of us as a man would do. You would go straight there to protect your family. And this is before like enough ambulance and police has come on the scene to even stop anything like that happening. Because remember, the mandem's here. This is the block. This is the block. Do you know what I'm saying? So I used to chill by that block all the time. Because remember, I said I went to college in Ladbroke Grove. So a lot of man's companions even now are from that area. I'm very well versed in that area. So he's gone into that block straight away. You know, no questions asked, and he never came out, and he passed away.
Mum and that was inside.
His mum, his father, his sister.
They all passed away.
Yeah, they all passed away.
I think I remember reading that. You know?
His name was Yasin al-Wahabi. That was his name.
Yeah, Allah gives him the highest part of Jannah. Inshallah, shaheed, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. Now, got a lot of comfort knowing that he died in a way in which a lot of us are envious of. Imagine that, Aki, man. You die going to protect your family. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of men say they would do that, but you see that I was there, bro. I seen that block on fire from night till day. I was there. So a lot of men would hesitate in doing something like that. And after that death, I was kind of just like, I'm done with all of this. I'm done with all of this. I can't do this anymore, bro. I keep losing people and it's crazy. And my grandfather was already sick at this time. He was just going into hospital. So now my grandfather, he had water in his lungs. So now I'm dealing with this and this at the same time. And we've kind of got the news that your grandfather's not got long to live. And remember, like, growing up, I didn't have much role models, but he played as much of a father figure in my life as he could.
Yeah, he was there, innit?
Yeah, 100%. So when he was in hospital, again, I'm going to the hospital every day. I'm very desensitized at this time, bro. Like, I'm not feeling much. I'm very numb to everything. And I remember, I come to the hospital one time and I remember walking in. I remember seeing my auntie and my uncle outside the ward crying. Straight away, I knew that he was gone. I was with my mum. Funnily enough, my mum had just come back from the hospital and she had told me, I need to go back. I said, Mum, you haven't slept. You just done a 9-hour shift at the hospital. Go sleep. When you wake up, I'll take you. I need to go now. I've got a bad feeling. No one's replying to me. Taking her there. And then I've walked into the room and seen my grandfather passed away. And obviously, I just remember the screams of my mum specifically, and just trying to hold her down. And then, man, just that was also a very traumatic experience to see something like that. Because remember, yes, we're on the roads and we're living certain things, but I'm a human too, bro.
Of course,
and every human has their thing and experiences things. So I guess seeing that really traumatized me. And I ended up washing his body as well. That was the first body I washed. Because it was his request before he died that I was one of the people that that wash his body. So
for the non-Muslims who don't understand, when a Muslim dies, they wash the body like a ritual before they bury him. So just so they know.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember washing his body and just feeling like just bones. Like you can tell that there's no life in this person. This person doesn't exist anymore. You know when they say the soul, like you really understand the soul leaving the body when you see a dead body pulled out of the fridge like it's worthless, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then we buried him. And then, you know, by now, I'm 21 years old. I'm stained, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm really, really stained because I've lost all these people around me from such a young age. My brethren are getting lifed off. My brethren are catching birds. I'm getting close calls. And it's all getting much for me. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is when I met Imran, who's also known as Dawah Man. But he's known as Imran now. He's removed that name. I remember one time I came to the masjid for a class that I saw. And he's connected with my family somehow. I'm not sure. He was coming to the hospital when my grandfather was in his last stages and whatnot. So I remember seeing his face and then a couple of videos online. And I came to a class one time, but he wasn't doing the class. He was attending the class. So I've attended the class with him and I've kind of come into I remember the sheikh at the time was speaking about death, and it was something that was a very close topic at the time. So I kind of walked out the room because I was just like, I don't really want to, this is a bit much for me right now. And he's come out to take a phone call. As he's taking a phone call, he's looked at me and said, "You're right, Ak." I'm like, nah, bruv. You know, it's like the mask came off, bruv. I was just like, I'm not all right, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not all right, bro. Obviously, I vented to him a little bit about what man's going through and whatnot. And he said, "Ak, man, just come up, do mad thing in the masjid." Every Saturday, he does a program called Mad Thing, and was doing a program called Mad Thing in the Masjid, where he will tailor a talk maybe for the youth, and just you have loads of youth coming. Do you know what I'm saying? And I attended that 1-2 times, and that's when I really started like saying to myself that, okay, there's a way for me to, there's a way for me to get out of this. It's not enough for me to just pray and live my life how I'm living. I need to stop the haram that I'm doing. I need to look at the people around me, the circle that's around me, and ask myself, if I get written off today, bro, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for my family? What beneficial things do we have between us that we can stand before Allah and say, I used to pray with him. I used to do this with him. Not much at all, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So that kind of mindset started having an effect on me, and I kind of started realizing, growing up, I always thought a man is someone that is, yes, protects, provides. You'll notice that a lot of guys that are on the roads, they have good traits in them in terms of men. Yeah. That's why, you know, you have this term how, like, you know, not that I want to go in that direction at all, but you know how women, they say like they like a guy with a hint of road. I don't think it's the trouble that they like. I think it's the fact that guys that come from a background that we come from, we hold certain things on us. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't come and disrespect my family. You look at my mother twice, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So I kind of had that vision as a man. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I'll protect what needs to get protected. You know, nobody could ever try anything. But I realized, bro, you know, a man is somebody who he protects, he provides, but before anything, he's a slave of Allah. And he sees his duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the forefront of his life. And that is the main principle in his life before anything else. Do you know what I'm saying? It's easy for a man to pick up a toy, go to a block and air it out. It's easy to do that. But what's not easy is when you're fighting in the morning, when you're waking up for Fajr, to pick up that blanket and go to the mosque and pray and do these things. Or as soon as a calamity hits you, you say what? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong and to Allah we return. It's easy for us to say that now, but let a calamity strike you now, and see how you're moving. Most of us don't operate like that. That's true, what separates the boys from the men. Look at what the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba had to endure, bro. They buried, you know, he buried all of his kids except for one. You know, when the kuffar, they killed his uncle, they took out his liver, they bit it and spat it out. They said that when the Prophet ﷺ saw his uncle, he had never cried like that before. And some narrations, I believe he prayed his janazah over 72 times in some narrations, because of the pain that he was feeling, bro.
He forgave that person, you know.
Nah, I heard that as well.
Of Makkah.
Yeah.
And whatever. But just a question. So obviously, when you made that transition, you were smoking obviously weed and stuff. How was it like stopping? Like, did you do it straight away, or was it a process?
Nah, so I went through a lot of phases.
This is very important because a lot of young men struggle with this. There's a lot
of phases that I went through stopping it, and there's only one way that worked.
Yeah.
The phases I went through was, all right, cool. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing in terms of smoking, but I'll still chill with the man them. I'm just not gonna do it though. So I'll come to the block, I'll chill, man will be smoking around me, doing whatever. I won't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? But sooner or later I'll fall into it somehow. It's given, bro. It's given, Ak. There's nobody that can say, my friends don't influence me. No. Like, how can anyone say that? When the Prophet ﷺ told us that you're upon the religion of your friend, so be very wary who you take as a companion. So I would go through this phase of, you know, I'll try to stop, but I'm still chilling with my guys, then I'm falling into it. And then, all right, cool, I might grab a bit now and just slang that and be like, all right, cool, let me just flip this quickly, whatnot, make a flip over here, and then I'll sign out, kind of thing. And I kind of repeated that process for quite a while. I can't remember the time scale, but quite a while, innit? I'd say the only time where I never looked back again was when I stopped hanging around with the people that were on that stuff.
Mashallah, yeah.
I might tell a man, I'm not going to sit here and block you and tell you don't chat to me. If I see you on the road, I'll salam you and I'll see how you're doing. How's your mumsy? How's family? But it's like more of a love from a distance situation where it's like, bro, I don't think I'm better than you, but man can't do this thing that you're involved in, bro. And I hear you, you're on your journey, so I'm going to kick back and do my thing. Because remember, nobody could sit and really pressure me and tell me. I never had no orders growing up, let's say that, where man are sending me on a train to go there and giving me this. I'm doing my own thing. No one can tell me nothing. And at the same time, another thing that I want to touch upon, you know, I always found postcode beef very stupid. Very stupid. Now, yes, I would inherit problems with certain man from areas, but I never understood the concept of I'm going to go and do up a man because of his postcode. I don't even know him. It never made sense to me. So it was never something that I was comfortable with, although I was very, and still am very wary about certain areas I go to because of the problems that I had over there. But yeah, carrying on, alhamdulillah, when I did that and I kicked back, that's when I never looked back again. But it was very difficult, not in terms of stopping the sin that I was doing, but more the loneliness. Because now it's like, rah, I really have nobody but Allah at the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is the age of 21. By now, my mum had got remarried. And at the time, she moved up to Birmingham because the brother that she married, he lived up there. So now I'm just living with my brother. 21 years old, I'm living with my brother, just me and him. And my brother's 4 years younger than me. So it's even more lonely in that sense. And it's hard, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I wasn't somebody that made a killing on the roads. I didn't have some crazy amount of money that I had and whatnot. I'm not going to sit here and say that. And also, I never understood, like, man are just like trapping and doing all these things to keep up an image. Like you're going Harrods every other week. Bro, I was trying to pay bills, bro. I was trying to pay bills. I was trying to remove debt. I was trying to provide, even though it was the wrong places. That was the reasons which I was doing it. I don't understand. And it's a very, especially for our youth today, you have to remember a lot of these man, you look at the way they live in, because I speak to a lot of these kids. Parents hit me up and I come to their houses to kind of figure out what's going on. Come to the house, I'm seeing big yards, nice cars, come into the kid's room, he's got everything that he needs. And I'm hearing man going outside doing chefings and moving this and disappearing up Cunch and all these things. I'm thinking, you come from a good family, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not making excuses for myself because, again, this is my own ignorance. But I didn't have that, bro. Anything I did in an ignorant way, I kind of felt like I didn't have a choice but to do that. I'm not trying to keep up no image, bro. I'm not proud to be a bad boy. I'm not proud to be living this life. Do you know what I'm saying? Even now, I'm ashamed of it. You know, certain things where, like, for example, recently my family was like planning a Eid. Couple of Eids ago now, they wanted to go Eid in a park, but it was in an area in which I had problems in. And I didn't want to be that guy that's going to come and say, I can't come. We're going to have to pick somewhere else because they've all made the plan. And, you know, I've ended up not going to that, doing my own thing. Things like that, bro. It's kind of just, it has its effect.
Certain things stay with you.
Certain things stay with you. So now man's living on my own with my brother, but I say on my own because I'm the provider. It's just me more time. I really was getting tested because remember when I left things behind.
Financially, or you mean like tested how?
Financially as well, but mentally especially, because now it's like, cool, I'm 21 years old, but I've gone through all this trauma in my life and I've experienced all these things and seen all these things, that now that I'm actually getting closer to Allah and I'm trying to work on my connection with Allah now, I have to take all this in the correct way. I can't go and get high or go do this or go do that to escape it. So it's hitting me hard. Now this is where
deal with it now.
And I've got to deal with it. And since then till now, bro, I'm fighting this today, bro. It's difficult. It PTSD never leaves you. Yeah, some people call it PTSD. Some people call it survivor's guilt. You know, I've done a lot of the research and resonated with a lot of things. But it's really difficult, bro. Like, I can't sleep at night, bro, till now. and I'm not someone that believes in taking pills and all of that stuff. So I find it very hard to sleep. That's actually how I came across your platform, believe it or not. Because when I go sleep, I have to play something. I have to listen to a podcast. I have to listen to something. So I came across yours. I started listening to your podcast, mashallah. So yeah, till now, bro, it's something that I really, really, really struggle with. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, 21 years old. I'm starting to make that transition. I'm still dibbling and dabbling in certain things. For example, the studio, the music. It's not something that has left me quite yet. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where I was sitting with my little cousin, and I was seeing a lot of these Umrah videos going around where guys from the streets are going Umrah and changing their lives, and they're talking on the camera on how they feel when they're coming with their brethrens and whatnot. And I'm thinking, raw, that is mad, you know. And remember, I haven't left the country
Ever.
as in not ever, but end of 21, the age of going into age 22, I went Umrah.
Okay.
Before that, it had been about 9 years, 10 years before I left the country, because I've always been that guy that I need to be home with my family.
Okay.
Man, I'm going on holiday. I can afford that, but I can't do that because I have to come home. I might come to your house and kick it with you, but 4 or 5 a.m. I'm going home because I need to be home. So I never left. So I kind of just said to my cousin, can we just go, man? Can we just go? And the person that was running the Umrah company was Imran himself. So I was already familiar with him.
Yeah.
He was trying to get me to come to these events. He was taking me in the back to kind of have a private chat and tell me, see how my progress was and whatnot. So I was like, let's just go, man. So I remember not thinking about it, slapping the deposit down, £500 at the time. But before this, it was Ramadan in this time as well. So Ramadan has been a very consistent theme of change in my life. But I remember I was in a very bad place financially. Any bit of money that I had from there, I kind of gave it away and had a little something that I was living off for some time but not working. Do you know what I'm saying? In and out of jobs. You know how it is. Guys like us, we're not really comfortable in a 9-to-5 environment. It's a bit, I don't know. I always knew where my strengths lied was in entrepreneurship. I always knew that. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that that's where my strength lied. And I did something called itikaf in the masjid. For those that don't know what itikaf is, it's when you spend the last 10 days of Ramadan in seclusion in the mosque. You do not leave the mosque unless there's an emergency that happens. You're in the mosque. It's just you. So I remember I paid £50 to just cover my food expense or whatnot. And I just came there. I packed a little suitcase. I walked in. I looked at the corner of the mosque. I saw about 10, 15 man, nodded at them, set up my little spot in my corner and just kept myself to myself and just kind of put my head down.
Masjid?
That same masjid in Church Road.
Mashallah.
That same masjid in Church Road. So I remember sitting itikaf and thinking to myself, like, where do I go from here? Like, because the way it's like a movie, bro. I walked in with a suitcase, bro, and I'm like, but I need, Ya Rab, I need some healing. I need to heal here. And I don't know how to figure this thing out. And I remember I sat that itikaf and I knew when I was walking out of the masjid just before Eid, that I can never go back to how I was living. Never go back to how I was living. And those brothers, those 10, 15 brothers that were there, I never knew them before. They're some of my closest companions till today. They know me more than certain man that have known me from here, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that strong form really built, and off the strength of that, I went Umrah. And when I went Umrah again, same thing. I just had my little cousin with me. I don't know no one. I've pulled up to the airport, Rago one. Everyone's like, oh, salaam alaikum, pali. I said, yeah. Gone to the Starbucks, got myself a little coffee. I'm sitting down, snap back, kicking back like this, nodding at people, just assessing the situation, like making sure there's no funny people here and whatnot. And again, bro, I went there and subhanAllah, that time it was different, man. You know what I'm saying? It was different. Yeah? It was the best experience of my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking, I remember walking the streets of Medina, looking around thinking, bro, guys, no pressure, no paranoia. But the main thought that was crossing my mind was like, bro, guys like me are not meant to be here, bro. we're not supposed to make it here. You know what I'm saying? And it's still till now when I talk about it, like, it's a bit bittersweet, because I think about my brothers that have passed and are no longer here. And I think, subhanAllah, man, even now I achieve certain things, I might get happy about it, and then I feel bad for being happy, because it's like, but bro's in his grave though. How does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying? Of course, I don't question Allah's qadr or whatnot at all. But that's the kind of feelings and emotions I was going through, where it's like, I'm ecstatic and I'm happy and I'm ready to make changes.
Yeah, there's a hadith. The companions came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, there's things that come in our mind that we would never repeat.
Yeah.
We'd rather basically get killed than say them. But they come, and he said, but I believe the Prophet said something like, that's a sign of your strong faith, basically.
Yeah.
Because Shaitan's trying it with you, innit?
100%. And I remember I came back from Umrah now. Again, close companions around me. I remember being on such a high Iman boost. Bear in mind, I've come back and COVID's happened. So now it's lockdown. I've just come back, like 2-3 weeks, and the lockdown's happened. So messages lock off, no classes going on, no link up with the brothers, nothing. I'm just at home. And I just came from like a big boost. So I want to do everything. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is a very common thing. I feel like every brother and sister goes through this. When you start practicing, you're like, Arabic, Quran, Aqidah, this, that, all at the same time. That when I couldn't do that, it disheartened me. Yeah, of course, and my Iman dropped because of it. And I started falling back into old ways very quickly. People think and have this mindset of, I'm going to live the way I'm living. One day I'll touch Mecca, make dua, repent, and come back a changed man. Doesn't work like that, bro. There's steps to it that you have to make.
Always get tested, man.
Always get tested. So I remember coming back and, things started creeping up on me again. I never went back to like selling and all of that stuff, but certain sins that I was dealing with, that was coming back, and remember feeling disheartened about it, and I'll try again and again and again. And then I realized that, I shouldn't be putting so much pressure on myself. I've gone through all of this in my life, but there's so much steps that I need to make that I can't tackle every issue at the same time. I need to slow it down a little bit and find a balance here. And that's when I kind of started doing that, and when my entrepreneurship started kicking in, because now I'm not sustaining my lifestyle in the way I once was. So I now need to find another means to provide, firstly, because remember, I'm paying rent, I'm doing all these things at an age where man are going uni and doing all of that, bro. I remember when I left college, even my mum knew that I can't go uni, because if you go uni, then how are you going to work and make money? Do you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that shot at education, so I knew I have to make it somehow out here. So COVID, I started selling masks and sanitizers. That's my first bit of, let's say, halal entrepreneurship that I started getting into. I had a little plug. My uncle was connected in China with some factories out there. I started selling face masks and sanitizers, just raggle act, just put it in my car, building links with pharmacies. I'm flying out to Blackburn, Manny, whatnot. I'm hoping I don't get pulled because it's lockdown. I'm not even allowed to be out. So, that's where it started. My journey of entrepreneurship started, where I started doing that. And alhamdulillah, I made quite a bit of money in that period. So where COVID was financially very difficult for a lot of people, alhamdulillah, Allah provided for me in a quite a good way, which I was be able to make quite a good base off of that.
From there you jumped on the phobes?
Not even through there. So I tried a lot of things, bro. I started learning how to tint cars on YouTube. I remember I had a little broke down Astra at the time. I was practicing on my Astra. I was telling man them, come, let me tint your car for free. Just let me try to do it on your car. And then I remember I tried doing that. I had a partner at the time as well, but we kind of left that because, he was committed to full-time work and we needed to invest in a spot. So I kind of it's not working here. Started getting involved in cars a little bit, cold part, you know how it is, buy, sell, fix the car up, doing that. It was okay, but it wasn't consistent enough for me. And then it got to a point where I was hopping and surfing around all of these places. I even done jobs. I worked at a car garage, Car Giant, if you've heard of it. I was spray painting cars and whatnot. Had an issue with the manager up there and left that. Then it got to a point where, again, I understand now. I've been practicing for some time now. It's been like a year and a half, 2 years. I'm seeking knowledge now. I'm doing things to make those steps. I understand that now. I need provision. Who do I ask for provision? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I remember going and making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open doors for me to be able to create a sustainable business for myself.
Yeah.
And I went through a long phase. Again, I went through a phase of making that money in COVID, living off of it, getting comfy, and then being brass again. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I got all these outgoings coming out and nothing's coming in consistently. So again, down to my last 5 bills in my pocket now. And I'm thinking to myself, after this 5 bills is gone, I don't know what to do. What happens? We get a letter of eviction that comes to us. This was my first yard in Church Road, so I was there for my entire time.
Why were they evicting you? Why?
Just arrears,
Okay.
previous arrears
How
that my
much did they
mother
build up
had.
to?
It was about, I think at the time it was about 12, 13 grand,
Oh, wow.
something like that. Because it was kind of letters that my mum was getting, but she wasn't keeping in
Yeah,
line
I
with it
understand,
type thing. So I remember getting that letter and feeling like, bruv, there's only one way I know how to go and deal with this and get that kind of money straight away. But I couldn't do that. So we got evicted from that house. And I remember that hopeless feeling of like, bro, man's packing up man's things and just walking out of the house type thing. I went to my grandmother's again. Cool, now we had to build our way back up. Ended up getting rehoused after emergency accommodations and whatnot. Rehoused in another yard in Church Road. And now I'm making dua to Allah to open doors for me. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've just been looking for phobes for some time at this time because I started changing the way I dress. I feel like the way, I only say this on a personal level, it's different for everyone, but me personally, the way I dress, it has an effect on me and how I behave in public. Where man will have a tracksuit, hood is up, I'm walking, I'm paranoid, a man's looking at me, I'm just looking at him.
It's like a deterrent for you,
It's a
isn't it?
deterrent for me, where it's like, cool, if I'm wearing a phobe, it's going to make me think about how I'm going to act in public, all the way down to the way man's walking and the way I'm carrying myself. Because you know how Allah speaks about the man who walks in an arrogant manner. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was very wary of that, and I just took a liking to Moroccan phobes specifically. I just found them to be, like I said to you earlier, they're quite drippy, they're quite in-trend, urban style kind of phobes, whereas the other ones were quite formal. And I just noticed that there was a struggle in the market trying to get hold of them. They wasn't really as available as they are now.
Okay.
You'd have to find them like backstreet shops in East London and whatnot to get hold of them. So yeah, bro, I just remember impulsively going to buy some for personal and then just saying, you know, what if I was to get like a bit more, do you know what I'm saying, from you? What could you do for me? And then, like I said, I had £500 in my pocket, bro. Come to an agreement. I think they scored on me anyway, but I probably got about 40 something, 50 phobes for that price. I remember saying to them, I'm going to give you £4.90 because I needed £10 to put in my petrol to get home. That's how down bad I got to. So I filled up my boot with whatever I could. I went to Church Road. I remember I just came to the strip. I flung my boot open. I said, yo, man, them, I got phobes. And from there, people started saying, yo, that's hard. Let me get that. And without me even knowing subconsciously, I'm building a line. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hustling,
I'm going to man and I'm pitching. You know what I'm saying? I've got myself a little line. Guys are ringing it. I'm driving around the area, hitting shots. Feds are pulling me over, saying, yo, what's, because they're seeing the way I'm in and out, moving around. I'm like, not doing anything. You can look at the car. I remember just thinking, raw. And it got to a point where it was actually, this is before I've gone online. This is just word of mouth, just hitting me up.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how it starts. So I remember sitting in my friend's car, driving around. He's like to me, yo, ads, you're slanging them, you know? Like, why don't you try and actually do this thing properly? Like, make a name, make a business page, try and do it. Because remember, I know how to do that side of it. I don't know nothing about limited company and accountants and this and that. So I'm just fresh. I'm just like, yeah, cool. Score 5 for you. Yeah, give me a pinky. Do this, do that. So yeah, bro, I remember then actually trying to do this thing properly. And from there, it just I honestly believe that a pure example in my life of when you leave things for the sake of Allah, how Allah will return it with things that are better. Because the barakah just started coming, bro.
Mashallah.
Like, people are just hitting me up. I'm pulling up on all sorts of people, like rappers, people that have been on your platform. Like, just rappers are hitting me up. My man's hitting me up. You know, street guys are hitting me up. The Akis are hitting me up. And I'm trying to kind of just going around London, going around everywhere. Then it got to a point where, you know, people are ordering from out of London. You know, we've got a big customer base in Canada, Australia, just all the states of America. And I'm thinking, subhanAllah, this is crazy.
Because you're online now, it opens up the market.
It opens up the market. And not just that, it's like, I remember the older acts in our community telling me, like, when I was younger, like, come to the mosque, bruv. Like, you never come to the mosque. Come to the mosque. We're doing a class today. You'll benefit from it. And I'll say, yeah. But really, I'm not going there, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I got a jug. I got a grind. Do you know what I'm saying? But I remember thinking, yo, now I go to the mosque. Customers that are in the mosque are recognizing me and saying, after the class, can I come outside and pattern? Thinking, Allah brought the barakah to me. Do you know what I'm saying? He brought it to me. So it's like, now, of course, I fight my intentions all the time, why I'm going here and going to the mosque and whatnot. But it's like, yo, man's really seeking knowledge and going to the mosque, and man are recognizing me, and Allah's providing outside into the masjid. So it's like, yeah, man, it was real, man.
You know what it is as well? I tell the people as well, like, you know, the nice thing about wearing a thobe when you pray is, you know, when you go into a ruku and stuff like that, your back's not exposed and stuff. You ain't got to worry about that. And I say to the people, look, Ramadan's around the corner.
Yeah.
You know, most people are going to go to the night prayer, like Eid's coming, you know, Eid prayer and whatever. The brother, like I said, he gave me a free thobe.
Come on, my bro, man.
You know, if you want to get a thobe, hit him up. You know, his
100%.
His details are in the description box.
100%.
But mashallah, it's good. You know, you got to try something, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The worst thing what people do is give up.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing people do. If you give up, you're going to get nothing, you know?
And bro, it wasn't easy, man. Like, after Umrah, I went Umrah twice. So I went Umrah, and then another 2 years later, I went Umrah again with the brothers again. But in that time, bro, I got into a lot of situations, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? A man's always going to test you, and, you know, just because you make certain changes in your life, other people don't. Do you know what I'm saying? And I genuinely, you know, especially if they're Muslim, I wish the best for certain man. You know, even if they're watching this now, bro, I don't really care. It's done for me, bro, innit? Obviously, there's certain people where it's like, even me, I fear for myself. Like, I don't want to see you, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you have to remember, a lot of serious things have happened, bro. A lot of back and forths have gone on and are still very prevalent. And we're living in a scary era where people are very loose with their lips. Do you know what I'm saying? You got guys, I find it so dumb, you know, guys coming on music and, you know, exposing the crimes that they've done and violating the next man's dead friends and all these things. It never made sense to me. But yeah, it's a very scary time, but it's just, I put my trust in Allah everywhere I go.
The only thing you could really do is, like, you've made it clear that you've done with the road.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not on it, you know.
For me, it's a thing where I'm never going to start an issue with you. If I see you, I'm not going to crack it on you.
If someone comes to you, puts their hands on you, then you have to defend yourself.
Then I have to
Aside from that, like, you know, you've walked away from that life. Obviously, you talk in the masjids and things like that now. You know, you go different places or whatever. How did that come about? Because I've got my own, you know, story about this with people approaching me. How did that come about where you spoke in the masjid, like, for the first time?
Okay,
how did that come about?
For me, ever since I started practicing, even before I practicing, I always had a voice. As in, I don't know what it is. People tell me it's a vibe. People tell me I don't know what it is, but, you know, people have always taken a liking to my advice and listening to me. Do you know what I'm saying? I definitely have always considered myself to be like a leader within my household and my community. And I've been hands-on with the youth a lot. I go to a lot of, you know, I've always been involved in a lot of the youth progression in the area. Even not just youth, people my age. I still keep in regular contact with my friends in jail. A lot of my friends take the mickey out of me. They're like, "As you're always on the jail calls, bruv. No one has your attention fully," because I'm 5 minutes, jail call, visit over there. So it was kind of something that I was always involved in, especially when I started practicing.
On like a grassroots level.
Yeah, 100%. But my business was the main outlet of me actually on the online side of things. People are seeing it because one agenda that I wanted to push, I don't want to just come and make money off people. That's not the only goal. I'm trying to show, man, that whether you're from the streets, you're banging fraud, you're doing things here, you're living a haram lifestyle, whatever way it is, gambling, whatever, bro, there's ways for you to do this out here. And I'm going to try and be a proof for you to show that, look, I come from elements, certain parts of life that maybe you can resonate with at some parts. And I've flipped it around and I'm doing my thing. You can do the same. So if you go on to like maybe my earlier posts, you'll see like I'd post a lot of content on in terms of the transitional phase videos from
Where
before.
was the first mosque you spoke at?
It was Northampton. It was a masjid in Northampton. A brother who was quite a good supporter of me had reached out and said, look, I run this youth thing. But having said that, there was a lot of people that reached out before. So remember, I started August 2021, my business. I'd say it started really picking up maybe 6 months into me launching. And then straight away, people were actually hitting me up then like, yo, can you come here, run a little youth program, this, that. But because I was so fresh myself to the online world and whatnot, because remember, it was a very uncomfortable feeling for me to be putting my face online. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I sat on it for a very long time thinking, should I do it, should I not? But then I realized, bro, if I want to push this out, then no one's going to want it like I do.
I've seen some of your stuff, Aki.
Yeah.
You stay in your lane.
Yeah.
That's what your expertise is, in this lane of a life that you live.
Alhamdulillah, I have like a lot of my teachers, like yourself, I have connections with students on knowledge that already, before I've even gone and done that and sought advice before starting this, have G-checked me and put me in my lane to let me know, brother, you're, in other words, you're a layman. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're here, you're studying, you're not someone of knowledge for these youth to take from. And I don't want these youth, for any of them that are watching, to think that in any way, shape or form, bro. No. And, you know, if you're somebody that is on that path already of making that change, you're doing everything you need to be doing, my message is not for you. Do you know what I'm saying? One
other thing I've noticed with some of the speakers who lack knowledge, Aki, they become very judgmental.
Yeah.
They become very judgmental, Aki.
Yeah.
They're kind of dissing kind of people and whatever, and they don't even realize they're doing it. What I will say is about the youth, Aki, now, we have to understand the environment they live in, Aki. They're bombarded with drill music. So we not, you know, it's kind of, we have to make excuses also.
100%.
I understand the struggle they're going through, and that's why I'm not harsh with them, Aki.
Same here.
You know what I mean? Because I was there one day. You understand what I mean? I was there at one point.
And the reality is we've failed them as role models. We have to look at yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when I look at how the youth that are younger than me, how they are, it's because brothers like myself and others were not good role models.
Sometimes blasting people, dissing them, belittling them, Aki, that's not the way to give dawah.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? You got to sometimes understand, Aki, the people's situation, bro. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That sometimes kids, Aki, they're lost, Aki, drugged up, music, you know. Then Aki, shaitan's got that hold on them, and you got to help be gentle and get that hold off them.
You have to chat to them on a level, man.
Aki, it's been an excellent podcast with a lot of different variety and some very beneficial points, inshallah. Aki, jazakallah khair for coming.
I appreciate you for having me,
the thobe, appreciated. I'm rocking that thobe on the Eid prayer, so you can see me in the baby blue.
Enjoy that, my brother. I appreciate you,
jazakallah khair, you know. Alhamdulillah, but it's been very good, Aki. Take care. Anything else you want to say to the viewers before, you know, tell them where to find you?
So you can find us on Instagram, AK Phobes, TikTok. We got our website launching just before Ramadan properly, so that's going to be coming out there. And yeah, man, all I'd say to the brothers, that if you're living a certain lifestyle on the roads or wherever, there's many ways for you to get it out here, man. There's many ways, and you need to just man up and understand that what you're doing is wrong, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to provide for you, and then go out there and do your job as a man, protect and provide for your families, and Allah will open the doors for you, man.
Anyway, guys, thank you for listening again, and I'll be back soon. Peace. Guys, today's podcast is in partnership with Stone & Co Solicitors, experts in serious and complex criminal matters. If you have a criminal matter that you need help with, or you've been arrested and want the best representation, contact the number below or drop them an email. All the information is on the screen below, as you can see. Stone & Co can offer specialist criminal defense services on a private basis or legal aid, so you don't pay nothing. And as a promotional offer, they're offering a case review in person or over the phone free of charge, no obligation, no fees, and they'll take a look at your case, guys.